everyone, this is Latha Akula. In this video we are going to study about position of floral parts on thalamus. So in our previous video what we have studied? We have studied that introduction to the flower, terminology and symmetry, right? And in this video we are going to study about what are the different types of thalamus on which the different floral parts are arranged. So what is the thalamus actually? The thalamus is nothing but it is a swollen structure present on the pedicel. It is the swollen structure present above the pedicel is called as thalamus. This is the pedicel. Above this there is a swollen structure is present which is called as thalamus. And if you see that there are four whorls of floral parts are arranged: calyx, corolla and rhizome gynoecium. And we have already studied calyx and corolla are called as accessory parts of the flower, and rhizome is the male reproductive organ and the gynoecium is the female reproductive organ. And these whorls of these floral parts, they may be arranged differently in different flowers on the thalamus. Depending upon the position of these floral parts on thalamus, we can classify the flowers into three categories. First one is hypogynous, second one is epigynous and third one is perigynous. What are the three kinds? Hypogynous, epigynous and perigynous. The first one, hypogynous. What is the meaning of hypo? The hypo means below. What is the meaning of hypo? Hypo means below. If you see this, here the thalamus is convex shape. What is its shape? It is called convex shape. On this, the gynoecium is present. See here, this gynoecium is the structure. So the thalamus is convex shape. On this, the gynoecium is arranged and the ovary is completely outside. Here, all the floral parts are present below the gynoecium. Here, different floral parts are arranged below the gynoecium, right? See this? This is the gynoecium. The androecium is present here. Corolla and calyx are present. That means gynoecium is above and all the floral parts are arranged below. Hence, it is the hypogynous. Hypo means below. The floral parts are arranged below the gynoecium. Hence, they are called as hypogynous. And here, the ovary is the superior that is present above. Hence, it is a superior ovary. What type of the ovary it is? Superior ovary is present. And the floral parts are arranged at the base of the gynoecium. Hence, it is called as hypogynous. Examples for this: mustard, petunia, brinjal and China rose. In these flowers, this kind of arrangement was seen on thalamus. And another one is epigynous. Epi means what? What is the meaning of epi? Epi means upon. Here epigynous means the name itself indicates the floral parts are arranged on the gynoecium, above the gynoecium. The floral parts are present. This is the gynoecium. The floral parts are present above the gynoecium. Hence it is called as epigynous. And if we see the shape of the thalamus is a deep cup shape, right? See this? Here the thalamus is convex shape. Here the thalamus is deep cup shaped and inside this the ovary is completely embedded. This is the gynoecium. So here this is the ovary. The ovary is completely embedded in the deep cup shaped thalamus and the remaining floral parts, see, this is what calyx, corolla and rhizome. All the floral parts are arranged at the margins of the thalamus. Margins of the thalamus. Hence, the ovary is completely embedded and the remaining floral parts are arranged at the margins. That means above the ovary. So see here, this is the ovary. All the floral parts are present above the gynoecium. Hence, it is epigynous. Epigynous means upon. Epi means upon. Gynoecium means female reproductive organ. The floral parts are present above the gynoecium. Hence, it is called as epigynous. And here, the ovary is completely inferior. Here, it is a superior ovary. This is the superior ovary. In epigynous, it is inferior, that is present inside inside the thalamus, hence it is completely inferior. Example, guava, cucumber, sunflower and bitter gourd are the examples for the epigynous flowers. And the last one is perigynous. Peri means around. If you see this, here the thalamus is concave shape. Here the thalamus is convex shape. And here it is deep cup shape. And here the thalamus is, what is the shape? Concave. Here the cavity is present, hence it is concave. And here the gynoecium is centrally located in this concave. This is the concave thalamus. Inside this, the gynoecium is centrally located. And then the floral parts are present at the margins. Here this ovary is present half inside and half outside, right? See, this half of the ovary is present inside and the remaining half of the ovary is present outside. Hence ovary is partly inside and partly outside. Hence it is half superior and half inferior ovary. What is this? This is half inferior and half superior ovary. Example, plum, rose and peach. In these we can see the perigynous flower. These are the different kinds of flowers. Once again we will repeat. Hypogynous. Hypo means below. The ovary is, what is the shape of the thalamus here? It is convex shape. Above this gynoecium is present and all the floral parts are arranged at the base of the gynoecium. Hence that is hypogynous. Hypo means the name itself indicates below the gynoecium the floral parts are arranged. And here the ovary is called as superior ovary. It is present above, hence it is the superior ovary. Example, mustard, petunia, China rose and brinjal. And second one is epigynous. In this, epi means what? Upon. So upon the gynoecium, that is above the gynoecium, the floral parts are arranged. Hence the name indicates epigynous. Means by hearing the name itself, you have to understand the concept here. Epi means upon, gynous means gynoecium. The floral parts are present above the gynoecium. Right here, the ovary is deep cup-shaped ovary and it encloses the total ovary. The total ovary is present inside the thalamus, right? And the floral parts are present at the margins. Here, the ovary is, what type of the ovary it is? Inferior ovary. What type of the ovary in epigynous? Inferior. That means the ovary is present completely inside the thalamus. Example, guava, cucumber, sunflower and bitter gourd. And third one is perigynous. In this, peri means around. So around the ovary, these are arranged. The floral parts are arranged. Here, what is the shape of the thalamus? It is concave shape. What is its shape? So on this concave thalamus, the ovary is present and above it is not completely embedded, half enclosed inside and half part is present outside the thalamus, and the remaining the floral parts are present at the margins, and hence here the ovary is called as, ovary is partly inside and partly outside, and this type of the ovary is a half superior and half inferior. We can find this type of flowers in plum, rose and peach. So with this we have completed the types of flowers based on the arrangement on thalamus, and the next video will study about parts of the flower. Hello everyone, this is Latha Akula. In this video we are going to study about parts of the flower. Different parts of the flower. If you see the parts of the flower, how many parts are there? There are 4 parts of the flower are present, and each part will arrange in the form of a whorl and form 4 whorls. Say the outermost whorl is called as calyx. The second whorl is called as colorful one is called as corolla. The third one is called as androecium, and innermost whorl or 4th whorl is called as gynoecium. We see the calyx. We see this calyx is the total whorl name is the calyx, and individually they are called as sepals. Corolla, the whorl is called as corolla, and individually they are called as petals. Androecium is the oral name, and individually they are called as stamens, and the gynoecium is called as carpels. And if you see the first one, calyx, what is this? It is the outermost whorl, and each members of this calyx is called as sepals. What are the members of the calyx are called? They are called sepals. And if you see the color, they are green in color, just like the little leaf-like structures. And the function of this calyx was they protect the flower when it is in bud stage. When the flower was in bud stage, the inner parts of the flower will be protected by these leaf-like structures called as calyx. And then these calyx are two types depending upon the condition whether they are united or free. If they are united, they are called as gamosepalous, and if they are free, they are called as polysepalous. This is about the calyx. The second one is, the second whorl is the corolla. What is the second whorl? The colorful one is called as corolla. Individually they are called as petals. What are individually called? They are called petals, and they are different colored. They are brightly colored. We have seen different colored flowers, right? The colors are nothing but, the color structures are nothing but petals only. They are in white color, red color, pink, green, blue, like this. So many different colors of the flowers are there. So they are brightly colored, and they emit a good fragrance also. This bright color and fragrance of this corolla is because to attract the insects. They have to, these flowers, they have to attract the insects. What is the importance of the attracting the insects? For the pollination process. What is the pollination? The transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the flower is called as pollination. What will happen after pollination? What will occur? Fertilization occur. After fertilization, what will occur? Fruit development and seeds formation takes place. For that purpose, to carry out pollination, the insects play a major role. Hence, the flower, they have to attract the insects by means of their bright colors and their fragrance. And these corolla are different shapes, right? Some of them are tubular, some of them are bell shaped, funnel shaped, wheel shaped, like that. Different shapes are seen in the corolla also. And these corolla, there are again two types, like calyx. There are also two types depending upon the condition whether they are united or free. If they are free, they are called as polypetalous, and if they are united, they are called as gamopetalous. Here it is sepalous, it is a petalous, that's it. And another one is aestivation. Aestivation is the concept regarding this calyx and corolla only. Here aestivation is nothing but arrangement of sepals and petals in a floral bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl. That is, what is the aestivation? Arrangement of the sepals or petals in a flower bud with respect to the other members of the same whorl. How they are arranged? The sepals or petals in their respective whorls, how they have arranged depending upon that arrangement. There are four different types of aestivations were seen. The first one is the valvate aestivation, second one is twisted, and third one is imbricate, and fourth one is vexillary aestivations. What are the four different types of aestivations? Valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. In valvate aestivation, here the sepals or petals, they are arranged like this, and they will not overlap. So what happens here? There is no overlapping. They just touch the borders. The edges, the ends of these sepals or petals, they are just touched by each other, but they will not overlap with one another. That type of arrangement is called as valvate aestivation, and this kind of aestivation is seen in Calotrophes. And another one is a twisted. In this twisted aestivation, these sepals or petals, they will overlap with each other. So here overlapping is seen. Overlapping occurs. Here the sepals or petals, they overlap with each other. Here see this, this overlapping this overlapping other, like this, they one another. They are overlapping the adjacent members of the whorl. The type of arrangement is called as twisted aestivation, and this is seen in China rose, lady's finger, and cotton. In this is twisted aestivation of sepals or petals takes place. And another one is imbricate. And this also overlapping occurs, but that overlapping will not follow any proper pattern, proper direction is not seen. See this, these are overlapping, all of them are overlapping, but here this is completely present inside, and this is overlapping this, but this is completely present outside, and this will overlap this will overlap like this. They will not follow any proper pattern for the overlapping. So that type of arrangement is called as imbricate aestivation, which is seen in Acacia and Gulmohar. And the last one is the vexillary aestivation. Here there is the largest sepal or petal is present, which is called a standard. That standard petal or sepal will overlap the smaller petals which are called as wings. Smaller petals are called as wings, and these wings will overlap the smallest petals which are present anterior, which are called as keel. What is the smallest petal in vexillary aestivation? Keel, which is present anterior side. So once again, in vexillary aestivation, here they follow a special type of aestivation in which there is a largest petal is present, which is called as a standard petal. That standard petal will overlap the smaller petals which are called as wings, and these smaller wings, they will again overlap the smallest petals which are present anterior side. They are called as keel. This type of aestivation is called as vexillary aestivation. Example for the vexillary aestivation was P and B. In P's and B, this type of vexillary aestivation was same. This is all about the aestivation, and once again we will see what are the different parts of the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium, and gynoecium. The calyx individually they are called as sepals. Calyx are again, what is the function of this calyx? Protection when the flower is in bud stage. They are called, if they are united, they are called gamosepalous. If they are separate, they are called as polysepalous. And the corolla is the second whorl, which is individually they are called as petals. They are different colors, and they emit fragrance to attract the insects, helps in the pollination. What is the function of these petals? For pollination, attracting the insects for pollination. And there are different shapes, again depending upon whether they are fused or free. There are two conditions: polypetalous and gamopetalous. And the next concept is the aestivation regarding these two, calyx and corolla, that is arrangement of sepals or petals in a floral bud respect to the other members of the same whorl is called as aestivation. There are four different types of aestivations. They are valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary. In valvate aestivation, there is no overlapping. They just touch the borders with one another. Example, calotropis. In twisted aestivation, there is overlapping is seen. And example, China rose, lady's finger, and cotton. And in imbricate aestivation, there is overlapping is seen, but they will not follow any proper pattern or proper direction for the overlapping. That is called as imbricate aestivation. Example, Acacia and Gulmohar. In vexillary aestivation, there is a special condition is seen. There is the largest petal is present, which is called as standard, that overlap the smaller petals called as wings. These wings again overlap the smallest petals called as keel, which is present anterior side. Examples are P and B. And the next part we are going to study is androecium. If you like my video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel Latha Akula Biology Tutorial. Keep watching.